This is full squad.
Roll.
You. Oh. Gentle arm. Me.
All right. Punch it, gearbox. Yeah, break through that interference. Let's do this. Yep. It's Monday. It's time to rock and roll. Who doggy? Yeah. Hey there, recruit. Welcome back to the House of G. Who doggy? Home of the original geek and gamer. All right. So Monday has begun. Start of a new week, and well, I hope it's going pretty good for you so far. If it's not, then hopefully this House of G will help to kind of lighten your day a little bit and help you get through the initial start of the week there. Lord knows I've experienced plenty of Mondays for myself, and it does not hurt to have a little bit of a boost to get you through it, at least in my experience here. Ooh doggy. All right, so if you're new to the channel here, well, House of G, lately I've been doing, well, actually the House of G is a relatively new thing compared to what I've been doing with the channel. And so yeah, lately I've been going through my comic book collection. I've had a stack of comic books that have needed bagged and boarded for a very long time, let me tell you. Jiminy Cricket. Life takes you in some very unexpected directions, which explains why these comic books are in need of some, just a little bit of tender loving care there, if you know what I'm saying. So we're making some excellent progress here. Yeah, let me go ahead and show you something real quick. I guess, yeah, this is starting to get a little bit heavy. Okay, so I had to pick up some new supplies and whatnot because it has actually been a while since I've even had the opportunity to really take part in one of my favorite hobbies here in such a manner. So yeah, I managed to pick up this comic book box covered in the Transformers. Who doggy? The name of the company is BCW. Yeah, they've had some pretty. I picked up some supplies from them, and so far I've been pretty happy with them. This box is a great example of it. On the side here, we got one Optimus Prime holding the spark of life. That brings back some memories, let me tell you. The kid in me is just all like, yeah, all excited. Oh, man, yeah. I can't. Yeah, I can't lie about that, let me tell you. And then one of the coolest parts about this box, if you take a look at the lid here, you got one Optimus Prime cleaning the clock of one Megatron, as it should be. Who doggy? Yep, the classic battle of good versus evil. Optimus Prime has always been one of my favorite Transformers. Yeah, that's never changed. No doubt about that. So this, jumping back into my collection here, especially on the House of G, has been incredibly fun for me. It's been exciting. It's brought back a lot of good memories. And surprisingly enough, it's been very eye-opening in a lot of ways, especially when comparing them to the modern state of the comic book industry. Ooh, doggy. And that contrast and comparison has become an integral part of the House of G series. So, yeah, let's go and dive into it here. We're going to get into our first comic book here that I'm going to bag and board. What I like to do is just kind of skim through it, get an idea for the story and whatnot. And, yep. So we've actually done quite a few of this title. And we're going to start off here with one Mutant X. Boom, yummy. July number 10. If I remember correctly, this should be 1998. Let's take a look here. Oh, no. Nope, this one's 1999. Yeah, so this one's, it's this is what I'm talking about. I got a stack of these. Most of them are from around 1997 to 1999 there. Remy Brave. Hey, Remy, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. Yeah. Yep, just got the stream going. It's good to see you, Remy. I did manage, I think I found your Facebook page. Let's see here. M. Remy Parasot. I apologize if I mispronounced that. I did send you, I created a Facebook account for Rebel Squadron, and I did send you a message. You haven't responded yet, so I don't know if you had a chance to check that yet, or if you got the message or not. I know Facebook chat can be pretty wonky there. Hey, I'm glad you made it. I am. It's good to see you. No, doing these live streams, honestly, it's just so much better when you got people actively hanging out in the chat and everything. It's so much more fun. Yep. Yeah, I found you, and I sent you a message. So, it's possible that it's, since we're not friended on Facebook, it's possible it sends you to I know Messenger has the it's like a separate message folder or something like that for people that you're not connected with. So it's possible my message got shunted over to that, so you might have to look for it and find it. So yeah, if you're up for it, just throw me a message back if you can find it, and yeah, we'll pick up where we left off on that last stream there. All right, cool beans. No rush. If you want to just hang out in the stream, that's fine. That'd be great. So, yeah, just whenever you got time. There's no rush. It's good to see you, Remy. All right, let's go ahead and get into this here. So, yeah, I've actually done a few Mutant X here. Back in the day, I was actually interested in the series. It takes place with Havoc being sucked into a parallel universe. And, well, as you might have guessed, there is a parallel universe equivalent of the X-Men, and the founder is actually a Magneto. So this, just looking at the cover here, it actually in hindsight, I'm actually seeing some stuff here that's well, let's just say it's indicative of what they've done with the modern comic book industry. Udogi. Yeah, I love that enthusiasm there, Remy. Appreciate it. Thank you for bringing the energy to the live stream here on the House of G. That's all I'm talking about right there. Hoo doggy. Oh my gosh. No, yeah. I love comic books. I really do. It's just they've always been they were a cornerstone of my childhood, and yeah, it's just, oh man. Let's go ahead and get into the comic book here. So one of the first thing that strikes me about this. This is the first thing that strikes me about this. So you got the parallel universe X-Men, right? And as you can clearly see, it's a huge mishmash of established characters just swapped around and squished back together. That is Nightcrawler, but I get the feeling, just looking at that he's meant to be mixed up with the Beast. And that's Rogue up there, and she clearly looks... She's actually a mishmash of Rogue, Ms. Marvel, and Colossus. So they took 3 different characters, mashed them into one. You got this guy on the left here. I honestly have no idea what that's supposed to be. And then this chick over here with the green... Yeah, that is all green. I'm honestly not sure what she's supposed to be. I have no idea. Yeah, she's got green hair, green boots. The green screen kind of washes it out there, but I have no idea. Not a clue. So let's go ahead and get in the comic book, and let's take a look at the story and see what it has to show. Now, I'll touch on this here when we get through this. I'm pointing this stuff out on the cover for a reason. So let's do this. Yeah, so I don't actually sit here and read the entire issue because I just ain't got the time for it, for the stream at least. But, yeah, we'll go ahead and skim through it and at least try to get an idea. Boom, boom, boom. Wow. Wow. So, yeah, pretty much starts off. So I think I did have number 9. And, yeah, Magneto popped up at the end with his X-Men. Now he's got the X on his belt instead of, like, the M for Magneto. So, yeah, it's this parallel universe is all sorts of wonky. Boom, the X-Men cometh. Yeah, you got Havoc. I think that's supposed to be like a cross between Mole Man. That's supposed to be Mole Man, I think. And there's some chick on the ground. I don't know who she's supposed to be. I don't remember. Yeah, Fantastic Four versions of those characters. Yeah, they... Well, wait, what? Okay, we go over to the next panel here, and... Yeah, so I would have to read this to really get fully caught up on it. Yeah, just looking at the panels and everything and skimming the dialogue, there's some funky stuff going on. So, then it cuts over here, and that looks like Storm. Wait a minute, are these the... Okay, so, yeah, I know Havoc got pulled into this alternate reality. I don't remember if the other X-Men, the other real X-Men got pulled in or not. Off the top of my head, I'm not remembering. Like I said, I just skimmed through these issues through the House of Jeeves, so it's not sticking like it would. But, I don't know. We'll see here. So we got a bunch of characters. Now, these do look more like the original X-Men. That does look like Storm up there. Maybe Archangel down there. Iceman, possibly Jean Grey. The dude on the right there, I'm not sure about him. But then there's like the Sentinels in the background. Or at least this version of the Sentinels. That's right. Okay, so no, this is Jim McCracken. I don't know. It's a little confusing without actually sitting down and reading the whole thing. I'm sure you get the gist of what they're going for here. They've gone into a parallel universe, mashed up all the characters, just trying to put a different spin on everything. And is that the Beast? Like, maybe this is Beast. This might be Beast. And he's green instead of blue, so you probably can't see him. But that vague outline of a dude right there. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be Beast. But yeah, he's green instead of blue. So, and that's this chick right here. She's like super telepathic powers or something. She's essentially brainwashed all these people into doing her bidding. And that's how she's in the process of taking over the world. So I'm not exactly sure who. I don't know if she's supposed to be Jean Grey. She might be this universe's version of Jean Grey, actually, possibly. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. So we're going through here. Yeah, you got the Fantastic Four under her spell, or at least Mr. Fantastic, anyways. Yeah, you got the usual dialogue and whatnot, the interpersonal interactions. Let's see here. So you got the expected conflict between characters. It's kind of, without reading it, sitting down and reading it all the way through, it's kind of difficult to explain the characters because, I mean, there's such a mishmash of original characters. So it's kind of hard to just sit here and explain them without showing you every single panel and reading every single little bit of dialogue. Okay, so yeah, that one guy, yeah, that had to be Beast, and then we still got Nightcrawler, who he looks more like a pirate at this point. Like maybe they kind of gave him a little bit of Gambit's personality or something. Boom, yummy, yummy. Oh, don't worry. No, yeah, I appreciate it, Romy. I appreciate it. It's like, boom, yummy, yummy. This is fun. It really is. Like I'm really enjoying this. So I hope you are too. I really do. And then wait a minute, who is this guy? Okay, so there we get a clear look at this guy for the first time. He's blue, so he's showing up at least. The dude in front, the blue with the dome helmet thing. I have no idea who he's supposed to be, which character he's analogous to or matched up with. Quicksilver, Rogue, and oh, it's Quicksilver. Okay, so this guy, he's supposed to be Quicksilver. Huh. Not really feeling the costume there. Yeah, so that guy right there in the blue, that's Quicksilver. And yeah, so obviously they're going for like a streamline aesthetic. Personally, I'm not feeling it. It's just, what was it? There was something recently. What was it? Oh, Jiminy Cricket, which one was it? Yeah, it was Earth 2. The Earth 2 from roughly the same, no wait, Earth 2 from 2012. Actually, it's sitting right here. So yeah, if you take a look at this, that is Quicksilver right there. Look at that helmet. Look at that helmet. Now let me show you something here. So you got Earth 2 Flash. Look at that helmet. It's kind of hard to see with all the lightning, but it's very domed, very curved, much like Quicksilver's was. Except this is DC. And then it doesn't stop there. And then check out Hawk Girl. Look at that dome. Does it look familiar? Does that look familiar or what? And this is, like I said, this is DC. 2-3 years after this here Mutant X that we're talking about right now. Are you starting to sense a pattern? Because I think I am. It's like, oh my goodness. Modern comic books, at least as far as mainstream comic books goes, they're dying. I mean, they're straight up dying. The companies are just, they're on life support right now. I honestly have no idea how they're still going. But this right here, I mean, going through these older issues, this is revealing that there's been a great deal of laziness going on for quite some time here. This is from this particular issue is from 1999. And Jiminy Cricket, man, it's been a long time coming. What's going on today? Yeah, no, I'm glad you see it, Remy. I'm glad because I know I'm not imagining things. It's right here. It's right here in black and white. Now keep in mind Marvel and DC are pushing hard for digital comic books. And see, one of the things about physical media, you can hold it in your hand. It's yours. It's your property. It's in your possession. They can't take it away. They can't erase this. But with digital media, they can alter it. They alter what you have. Foreign investors? Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, I have no doubt there's some foreign involvement there. There's a lot of foreign control in mainstream media across the board. And yeah, there's no doubt that they have taken control of certain pop culture aspects of our of our community. Let's put it that way. So yeah, this is yeah, so kind of leaves you speechless at some point, you know. It's like it's incredible. What is this? Oh, that's right. Oh yeah. Okay. So on a recent House of G, I went over. It was a Spider-Woman comic book. I actually have a Spider-Woman comic book in my collection from way back. So we got an ad here in this issue. We got an ad here for, you guessed it, Spider-Woman. She looks exactly like Spider-Man, except, more feminine and the funky spider legs. Yeah, this character was in that Spider-Woman issue that I had, we went through on the House of G there. And just no creativity whatsoever. This is back in 1998, 1999. So my whole point with this particular one, the story's okay. It's a fairly typical X-Men story. But then here's the rub of it. So you have the parallel universe with these characters, and they're existing characters that have been mishmashed together, or they're separate. Like Nightcrawler seems to be Nightcrawler, Magneto seems to be Magneto, but they've been altered in specific ways. Like Nightcrawler is more of a swashbuckler, pirate type dude, where the real Nightcrawler is actually kind of he's a very humble character, you know. And Magneto, the real Magneto, I don't know. I'd have to read more of it to get more of a feel for him, but Magneto seems like the most like the original character, except that because there have been points in the original universe where Magneto actually crossed over to the X-Men side, but this seems like he was created the X-Men from the beginning or something. I don't know, but the point I'm trying to make, there is a distinct lack of creativity going back to 1999, 1998, because I mean, they did like the how do you say it? Amalgamation series, Augmon Comics or something like that. They took Marvel characters, DC characters, and mashed them together and created, took different aspects of both the characters in both universes, like Green Lantern and Iron Man, and they smashed them together for the Green. It was the Iron Lantern, and now with that, I mean, it was an interesting concept. It was a fun concept, but it was meant to be a one-off, a one-shot, just to have fun with the characters. Be like, hey, what if we did this? But here's the problem though. These companies, Marvel and DC, I think there was a great deal of popularity in those types of one-shots, and they were thinking, hey, you know what? This sold a lot. This made a lot of money, sold a lot of issues. So I think they kind of took it the wrong way there, and then they turned it into stuff like this. And this is just, I mean, it's just lazy. It's lazy. I'm sorry. For one shot, it's fun. Okay, it's a fun idea. I got into it, but then they just went full bore with it and made it. They try to make it like a permanent thing, and it just shows the depths of laziness that had already crept into these big mainstream companies a very long time ago. And I mean, it's right there to see. You can see it for yourself. You don't even have to read it. You can see it right there in this cover. And yeah, so the problems of modern comic books, they didn't pop up out of nowhere. They didn't develop in a vacuum. They've been percolating. They've been incubating for a very long time. Let's see. Hey, Remy, let me get caught up here. Yeah, I got kind of caught up there in the that little rant there. Calendar development, another pattern emerging. I was going to ask a dumb question. Are there? No, that is not a dumb question, Remy. That is absolutely. Now, comic books they've had ads going back since probably the very beginnings of comic books. Comic books, they love their ads. They really do. And like you probably just saw there, this is a really good example of it. But that's an in-house ad. And then let's see here. Yeah, you got stuff that's a little more. Well, no, that's still mostly in-house. Okay. They always had like the. Well, they do a lot of in-house ads for sure. Like they love to toot their own horn within their own comic book. So it's like. But sometimes they did have stuff. Well, it's the overpowered card game. Yeah, I remember that. That's going way back. I don't even know if that still is a thing anymore. I actually got into that a little bit. Sometimes they do have ads that are like right here. Okay, so WSL Roller Jam. I honestly have no idea what that is. That is not comic book related. TNN? I got no idea what that is. So yeah, sometimes they do have ads that are more mainstream. Country, yeah. CBS Cable. That's what that is. Never even heard of it. It's like, but a lot of their ads do seem to be in-house. But I mean, that's to be expected. You know, you got the platform. Yeah. They got their own platform. You know, why not shine a light on your own product? You can't really blame them for it. You know, I would probably do the same thing. Actually, I kind of do the same thing. I promote my channel as much as I can on my own channel, so it's marketing. It's marketing. but sometimes you do get those ads that are more mainstream and everything. Now, as far as LG, yeah, oh my gosh, I always have trouble saying it. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and look it up here so I actually spell it right. Amalgam Comics. That's not. That's definitely not. Oh, maybe it is how you spell it. Oh yeah. Hey, I did spell it right. Okay, that's always happy news right there. Yeah, Amalgam Comics. If you're interested, check it out. It's literally just Marvel characters and DC characters smashed into one. Like I said, it was a fun one-off, one-shot series, but gosh, Marvel and DC they it's like they pretty much grew too big for their britches at that point, and they got the wrong idea, and then they tried to turn it from a one-shot deal into an ongoing series. That's what they're doing with stuff like this. It's not just Mutant X. There's like other stuff going on. Like DC's got the multiple Earth universes. Earth 2 is a fantastic example. There's just no creativity left. Really none left. And it's just the signs have been there for a long time. The state of modern pop culture, it's been in a downward decline for literally decades at this point. And because this, like I said, this is 1988, 1999, talking 22, 23 years ago. That's a long time. And I mean, the signs have been there. The signs have been there. 2012 is when I finally said enough is enough. So it's like, it's taken some people longer than others. And I mean, that's just human nature, you know? So you can't really fault them for it. But I mean, if you really look with open eyes, you can see it's been a long time coming. And it's a shame. It really is. It was an interesting concept. He gets sucked into an alternate universe. He's trying to find his way. Problem is, these characters, I mean, they're just rip-offs of the originals. And that's where the series, that's where the title floundered. And I think that's why it ultimately failed. Because you're reading about the original characters and they're just put together in different ways. Like that right there. I mean, that one right there, that one's really jumping out at me. Rogue, Ms. Marvel, and Colossus. You got 3 different characters mashed into one. And yeah, okay, so Rogue did, siphon away Ms. Marvel's powers and everything, but she was never Ms. Marvel. She was Rogue. She didn't, take her personality or anything like that. But then they combine the two, like, permanently, and then they add Colossus to the mix. It's like, what is this? I mean, unless she was supposed to have siphoned off Colossus's abilities or something, which I would have to read this in depth to. I'm not even sure I got the issues after this one to be able to flesh out the story, but I mean, honestly, it's just laziness on their part. And okay, let's go ahead and get this one into storage here. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and gripe and bellyache. And yeah, let's move on. No, yeah, no argument there, Remy. Like, yeah, it's not just comic books. It's mainstream entertainment across the board. If you look at art, like just contemporary art, museums, painters, sculptors. Painters are probably the easiest example. Some of those paintings, they're simplistic and boring, and yet they're celebrated as high art. And I can't wrap my mind around it because it's just like I could come up with some of that stuff myself. Squares, rectangles, just kind of different color, and I could do that. I can do that easily. I don't have that kind of, when it comes to skills in painting, I don't have those skills. I've never attempted to develop those skills. But even I could sit there and make a square or a rectangle in different colors and call it art. It's Yep. That's what they're doing in the movies. That's one of the big problems with the movies. Like, sure, they're entertaining, or at least they were, but they're taking established comic book characters and they're putting a mainstream spin on them. So the movie characters and the stories, they have the feel of the comic book characters, but they've changed certain things about those characters that they're not the same characters. Take trying to think of a good example. I'm trying to no. Let's see. Let's take WandaVision. I know it's a popular show, and I'm not saying it's a bad show per se in and of itself, but Wanda and Vision in the comic books, like her powers are completely different. Her powers in the MCU are completely different than what she had in the comic books. They've really messed with her character, and in the comic books when they got together, I mean they were just in a normal relationship, and as much as you can have with a human being and an android. And her abilities, originally, it was limited to just altering probability. So where it was impossible for her and Vision to have children, her abilities, her mutant abilities, made it. She was able to alter those probabilities from impossible to possible. And the two children that they had, I mean, it was in normal reality. It was impossible. But with her abilities, boom. Those kids came out of nowhere, which led to the whole story arc of Mephisto. They had this whole thing with Mephisto. I don't remember exactly how it went, but they were able to finagle a couple of souls out of him. It was kind of this whole thing, and they were fine. I think they were finally able to turn these children into like real human beings with souls, because of the whole story arc with Mephisto, which is a little disturbing, but it's comic books. It's comic books. But then you got WandaVision, and I mean, it's such a complete and total departure from the comic book Scarlet Witch and the comic book Vision and everything. So yeah, it's a combination of superhero mashups and just completely ditching the actual original comic book roots of the characters altogether in some cases. So yeah, gosh, man, pop culture. When I say pop culture, I'm talking comic books, movies, television, everything that falls under that umbrella, and then that does include like the MCU and stuff like that. It's just, it was a fun ride. That 10 years of the MCU, it was a fun ride. But there were some issues there that they mashed stuff up. They altered the origins of the characters and the characteristics. And it's falling off. It's already falling off. It only took 10 years for the whole superhero thing. It's in the process of falling apart. That's Marvel and DC. Just look at what they're doing with the Batman movie coming up that they're working on right now. We're not going to get into that. But yeah, it's just, oh my goodness. The signs were there a long time ago, and yes, it has spread to every corner of pop culture and entertainment. It's a virus. It's a cancer, is what it is. It's a cancer. It's eating everything up, and it's spitting out the same thing. It's turning everything into like this, just generic. They got the meme and the dude, and he's a gray, just basically a gray shadow with a silhouette, and then they do the little black lines for his eyes and stuff like that. It's very what's the word? Androgynous character, like person. There's no individuality to him. I mean, that's what they're taking all these characters and these universes, and that's what they're doing. They're just turning them into like these androgynous everything. It's like, I'm glad you feel the same way about the Batman, because I made a video on it a while back, and I might have to revisit that with some of the stuff that's coming out. It's oh my goodness, oh my goodness. If you don't want to watch the whole video, at least watch the first minute or so. I did an intro for it. Personally, I'm pretty proud of it. So I think it pretty much kind of sums up the movie. So, all right, I'm going to show you something real quick here. Let's see if I can do this. There is a little bit of personal information, so I don't want to like reveal that here. But now the next 3 comic books we're going to get into, if you look at the date there, I don't know if you can really see it there. December 13th. 13, which is 2013. So yeah, the last house. Son of a biscuit. One second. Yeah, my setup is way better than it used to be, but it's still a little it's a little clunky sometimes. So yeah, the Last House of G, the Earth 2 comic books, that was the last straw for me. But then yeah, December 13th, 2013, I love comic books. I've always loved comic books. It was such a heartbreaking thing for me. It was very difficult. It was a long time coming. That was the last straw. It was a long time coming because this stuff has been going on since way before 1998. But it finally happened. I pretty much gave up the ghost in the comic books. But then, December 13th, 2013, I got the hankering. I was just like, I wanted to read a comic book. So I went back and bought He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. As you can see, it's from DC. Where's there? DC Comics. I have no idea how DC got a hold of the rights for He-Man, but they did. And so I went back to the comic book store, and I wasn't even sure I was going to buy anything. What do you mean by Dark Sith Lord? I get a little chattery sometimes, so it's easy for me to get ahead of things. So I'm not sure what you mean with the Dark Sith Lord. So let me know what you meant with that. Let's see here. So yeah, Master of the Universe. I picked up issues 6, 7, and 8. This was a final act of desperation on my part to see if there was anything salvageable regarding comic books. He-Man was always one of my favorites as a kid growing up. As you can see here, this one's about sibling rivalry. So as you can probably guess, that's his sister, and she's the one who becomes She-Ra. Now, from the neck down, you can tell very clearly that she's a female. She's a woman. But look at that haircut. Let me just look at that. That is a boy's haircut. What is this? Like, what is this? I mean, that's He-Man. You can tell, that's He-Man. He's masculine, manly. His face is a little on the boyish side, but it's He-Man enough. Yeah, I can't argue against that one, Remy. Turning everything to, that's exactly what they're doing. They're stripping all just individual characteristics. They're stripping everything down into just. We're literally going to be left with just this androgynous, like bland character that has no defining characteristics, no anything. And that's where we're heading. That's what they're gunning for. This one right here. Yeah. This issue, if you remember it, I mean, it looks nice for the most part, except for my primary complaint is her hair. Her hair is just awful. It's a boy's haircut. So if you know the controversy with the recent She-Ra cartoon, I don't know if it's Netflix or Cartoon Network, but they literally made She-Ra look like a boy. And you know what? It did not pop up out of a vacuum. Back in 2013, they made She-Ra look like a boy. That was a boy's haircut. Honestly, the face looks very boyish, not girly. Now, the rest of her body is very girly. That is very feminine. Then you look at the face. And in my humble opinion, especially looking back, this is a brainwashing technique. You confuse people. It's like, okay, that's clearly a woman. But then you look at that, but that kind of looks like a boy. Well, it's very conflicting. But if you do this enough times, and they have done it enough times, with many characters over and over the last couple decades, and then finally you get to the point where, okay, I need to say, well, as far as the muscles go, Jiminy Cricket. The weather has been just up and down, so it's wreaking havoc with stuff when I'm talking. He-Man, you expect him to have muscles on muscles. Now, as far as the female goes, that's a very feminine musculature, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, she's very tall and she's very fit. I like that. I like that right there. That's still a woman to me. So, yeah, as far as the He-Man having muscles on muscles, that's kind of his thing. So it's like... Yeah, so muscles, it's fine if it's on a dude. If it's on a chick, not so much. Just look at the modern She-Hulk for a good comparison there. But yeah, the primary point, though, is that... oh, Jiminy Cricket. Oh, my Lord. I need a second. Dude, Yeah, my throat is drying out all of a sudden. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's the weather. Like last night it was actually around 50s, 60s, and then now it's like low to mid 70s or something. I don't know. It's the weather is like all over the place, and it wreaks havoc with my nasal pharyngeal cavity and stuff like that. And let's see here. Okay, so oh yeah, so like that modern She-Ra cartoon where she looks like a boy. They've been trying to make it a gradual process. You confuse people by, it's very female character except for the head and hair and the face. That's very boyish. So it's like that's confusing at minimum. And then over time, you end up with modern boy She-Ra. So it's been an ongoing process. Now at the time I bought this, yeah, I didn't like that haircut, but I didn't understand exactly everything that was going on. So I went ahead and made the purchase. I purchased 3 of them, 6, 7, and 8. Now, the fact that they actually had 6, 7, and 8, that's 3 issues. That should have been kind of a red flag because usually you might have the current issue and then the previous month. The fact that there were 2 previous issues, it's kind of a bad sign there. But like I said, this was a final act of desperation on my part, so I went ahead and picked them up. So it's like, let's go ahead and get into the actual comic book here. That's just a breakdown of the cover itself. So that's how, you can get pretty crazy with this stuff. Okay, so this is actually kind of cool right here. So you get into the very first panel. That's actually a pretty cool panel right there. Now, what they're trying to do with this, they're trying to take it less kidsy, less cartoony, and trying to make it a little more adult, which is, I'm okay with that for the most part, as long as they do it right. So it starts off here with the first panel. It's actually a pretty good panel right there. You got He-Man and the dude there, what was his name? He had the telescoping neck. They're in a battle with a bunch of the Horde minions or whatever. The dude from She-Ra, I forget his name. But he had the Horde fighting for him. So they're battling it out right there. Pretty hardcore fight scene. And wait a minute, what's his name? What's the dude's name? It doesn't give his name yet. Yeah, he's got the telescoping neck. I can't remember his name. Well, yeah, I'll show you here. So yeah, they're duking it out, boom, 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 and then there it is right there. Yeah, you can see it. His telescoping neck. Uses it as a weapon. Uses his head as a battering ram, basically. That's He-Man. That's some He-Man stuff right there. I actually do have a vaporizer, which actually puts moisture in the air. I don't need to use it that often, but I'm kind of it's starting to clear up. So sometimes I just need to talk for a while and get the cobwebs out, so to speak. So hopefully we'll be good here. But it does help, though. It does help. Oh yeah. So then on the next page, boom, Battle Cat and all his furious, beastly glory, boom, coming in, knocking them down like bowling pins. Yeah, so they're just doing their thing. They're kicking some booty, and it's a really cool start to the issue and everything. But then it gets a little weird. Boom. So it goes to the next page, and then we got that's Allura, whatever his name is. She becomes She-Ra, and then that chick, I'm not even sure who she is. I mean, just look at that. What is that? The glare is terrible. Right there. Boom. What is that? That's not She-Ra. That's not even female. That's not feminine at all. It's not. That's a boy's haircut. It's ugly. It's not attractive. It's just, what is that? But then you look at her body. I mean, you can tell. I mean, she's got a female body, feminine. But the head, the face, the hair, it's a monstrosity. What is that? I don't even know. Well, I think when I got to this page, I was immediately just like, I don't know what I spent my money on here. Hordak. Hordak's the name of the dude on She-Ra's World. So yeah, they went a little bit darker with this. It's not as kid friendly. It's definitely not on the. It's not nearly. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about there. And then. I don't know. I think this is supposed to be Hordak. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Because he looks, if it is, he's got the face of Hordak, I think. But they gave him a very different body. Like the original Hordak had a normal body. I think he had like a white face or something like that. But they turned him into this weird cyborg Borg monstrosity. So they went pretty hardcore with it. And then we got ourselves a Transformers ad right there. I gotta admit, the ads were fun. At least they used to be back in the day. Yeah, dogs can cough. That's actually a fact. So what the deal is? Okay, so what I think is going on, I think Hordak actually managed to take over She-Ra's planet, and now he's actually invading Eternia, because they're actually going after Grayskull in this panel. They're talking about Grayskull, and Allura, whatever her name is, she's actually fighting for Hordak. So it's like he defeated her or something, or I don't know. But they're, Allura and Adam are siblings, brother and sister. So yeah, I'm a little confused about what's going on exactly. It doesn't really explain it at this point. I'd have to actually read it. Adora, not Allura, Adora. Yeah, Adora is her name. She's the one that is She-Ra at some point. I don't know why she's fighting for Hordak at this point. But then, oh wow, the unthinkable happens. Boom. Down goes Grayskull. Grayskull is defeated. So, that's not good. That's not a good thing. I'm glad you know what I mean, Remy. Because, you got stuff in your head. And sometimes it can be a little difficult trying to put it into words to where it makes sense to other people. So I'm glad you know what I mean. Boom, 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 boom. Wait a minute, what? Oh, wait a minute. Am I missing something? Hold on. Wait a minute, is that He-Man? Okay, so I did kind of miss something here. So He-Man and his buddies, they actually make their way to Hordak and Adora right before he crushes, brings Grayskull crumbling down. And yeah, there's a lot of dialogue. I don't have time to read it all, unfortunately. I'll be honest, I'm not even sure I finished reading all three of those. I might not have actually finished them. Because the story there might have been something about the story that just didn't sit right with me, and I wasn't motivated to possibly. I mean, it's possible I did, and I just don't remember any of it. I'm just not actually sure about that. Oh yeah, then you got the Falcon-looking jet thing. They managed to put that in there, so that was actually pretty cool right there. It's just there were some really cool aspects about it. So much like the He-Man Masters of the Universe universe. I'm sure you know what I mean. They actually got it into the comic book. That was cool. That much of it was cool. Like there was some really cool stuff about this. Don't get me wrong. It's not all complaints, but there are also some issues, like really serious issues. And oh yeah, so Hordak takes over Grayskull. So they all retreat. I'm pretty sure this is his father. Yeah, King of Eternia. And they've fallen back, they're regrouping. They're trying to plan on how to take back Grayskull. And let's see here. The girl, Despara, my daughter returned. Okay, so Adora becomes Despara, who has been fighting for Hordak. Which I don't know why. I don't know why that happened. So then it cuts to Man-in-Arms and his daughter, Teela. They're in some sort of barracks type thing. Now, I will say this. All the soldiers seem to be men, which is actually pretty gratifying. I'm not going to lie. I'm tired of seeing women portrayed as frontline fighters and stuff like that, because they're not. There's a reason why they don't fight on the front line in real life. And I'm tired of seeing it. in comic books and stuff. All the soldiers are actually men, which is a refreshing change. But then you do have his daughter, and she does act more like a man in many cases. They're having a father-daughter moment, which is fine. So apparently He-Man actually let Adora go. Let's see here. Who is that guy? Okay, so then we got this guy here. I'm not sure who he is. I don't remember him at all. He's the guy right there. He's got a regular left hand, but then on his right hand he's got this weird glove. It's huge. So I don't know who he is. I don't recognize him at all. Oh yeah, then Tila is betrothed to Adam. Okay, so they're actually set to get married in this comic book world. Interesting. Oh yeah, and then we got the Falcon guy. Yeah, the dude with the wings. He could actually fly and everything. Yeah, he was always a cool one too. So yeah, it's really exciting that they brought all of this stuff from the He-Man universe into the comic books. I mean, it's just so cool. It was just so cool. It was this really awesome blast from the past. And but then they did this to Adora, his sister. I mean, just they butchered the character. I don't remember this ever being part of the original cartoon or anything like that. I'm fairly certain they completely made this up for the comic book. It's terrible. It's just terrible. Absolutely awful. It's honestly I just didn't like it. Honestly, she just seems like a very bitter person. Very bitter and angry. She's not a very pleasant person. And she's supposed to be She-Ra. She-Ra was I did watch as a kid. Like He-Man was my thing, but then the She-Ra came out and was part of the He-Man universe. I did watch it some as a kid. She-Ra she had a fairly pleasant personality from what I remember. But this Adora is just a miserable person. Absolutely miserable. Oh. At this point, I'm wondering, where is Skeletor? Like, I don't know what happened to Skeletor. I started with issue 6, so obviously I missed like 5 issues of stuff. So there's I think that's Hordak. I think that's him. Not 100% sure, but I think. There's that chick in the back there. She's that cat chick. Okay, so yeah, I think she's from the She-Ra universe. She's got the headpiece. It's supposed to mimic like a cat face or something. And then the dude behind her, I don't remember him. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with the She-Ra universe. And then okay, so I think this is supposed to be Tila and Adora as children. And so this is like a flashback, like a warm fuzzy flashback. And then there's the priestess of Grayskull there coming in in her bird form. So they're trying to do like the flashback thing. I guess they're trying to soften the tone or the reader's perception of Adora or something. I'm trying to make it like a tragic character arc or something. I don't know what they're trying to do with it at this point, at least. I don't know. So very mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, there's so much stuff in this issue from the He-Man universe, and that nostalgia is just awesome. It's so great to see it. But then, I mean, they're trying to go dark with it, less kidded, cartoony, and in my humble opinion, they fail. They fail on that front. At least just reading this one, breezing through this one issue. In hindsight, I'm not sure I'm feeling it 100% because, He-Man was always positive and optimistic. This is just, I don't know. I'm just not quite getting that positive, optimistic vibe from it. So it's like, it's one thing to try to make it a little more adult friendly or something, but then, I mean, it's so easy to go too far with it. I think maybe they might have gone a little too far with it. which is it's not just He-Man that they did this to. They've done it with a lot of stuff. They've taken like Batman. They've gone so hardcore dark with Batman. They turn his parents and basically into villains and stuff like that. And it's like with the Gotham series, TV series, they were heavily involved in like the Arkham stuff, the stuff going on, the Black something, I forget the name of it. They just butchered Batman's entire origins and turned it into like this dark. It's not bad enough that his parents were murdered in front of him. That's not dark enough. They turned his parents into like these villains and stuff, and just went full I don't even know what. So they're and this is from 2013. So that's the type of thing that they've actually been doing for quite some time. They're just not as drastic in, say, this particular iteration of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to have to sit down and read it again because obviously I missed a lot with the dialogue just skimming through it. Let's go ahead and bag and board this puppy. And I still have issues 7 and 8, so maybe we'll be able to get a little more information on what they were doing with the series. And keep in mind, the last House of G, it was the last straw for me. When I purchased these 3 issues, it was a last act of desperation. Trying to find a reason to remain, just in the comic book, at least the modern comic book community. Because it was just such a hot mess by that point. All right, get that baby bag and boarded and ready for storage. Boom, yummy, yummy. I mean, I like the look of He-Man. I mean, his face, like I said, his face is a little bit, it's a little bit androgynous for my taste. Other than that, I like his look. Like, he's got the armor. That's really cool looking armor. For the most part, I like the sword. I think Shadiversity might have something to say about the hilt. Because the hilt, if you, that's going to just stab you right in your own hand. So other than that, though, I mean, it doesn't, from my limited experience, that's not a bad sword. It's not exactly the sword from the cartoon or anything. There's some noticeable changes to it. But overall, I do like the look of He-Man in this. So there were some cool things about it. It had a lot of potential. But naturally, they kind of had to kind of screw it up a little bit with, like, say, boom, a boyish-looking She-Ra before the cartoon. They've been trying to push this nonsense for decades. All right, so let's move on here. He-Man, Master of the Universe, issue number 7. A Bold New Adventure. So we got his father. I'm pretty sure that's his mother, the Queen. That's definitely, I don't think that's Tila. I think that's his mother and father, I think. And then there's the dude in the back. I actually don't know who he is. He's not looking familiar. He's doing something with the ground there, which I don't remember from any of the characters. So he might be a newer one, possibly. Let's try to take a quick look at this here. We got an ad on the back here. I don't know what this is either. It's a book. Oh, author of The Maze Runner. Okay. The Eye of the Mines. So, let's see here. Yeah, author of The Maze Runner. So, yeah, we do get, I mean, it's outside of Marvel or DC, but it's still very much like, science fiction type stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, there's, oh, yeah. Here we go. This one's not surprising. Arrow for the CW. These shows had so much potential, and they just all that woke nonsense, and they just butchered them. They really did. Okay, so Bold New Adventure, boom. So this is after the fall of Gray Skull. They're recovering, trying to regroup. So yeah, He-Man / Adam's father, he's giving an inspirational speech and everything, trying to rally morale and everything. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, hello. Okay, so apparently they're about to take... Okay, so the very next page, boom, full-on battle scene. So, yeah, that is Adam's father, King of Eternia. Talking about breaking their line. So apparently they're going on the offensive here. Boom. Oh, hello. Okay. I've been waiting for this guy. And then here comes Beast Man. Yeah, he is one of the classic He-Man characters. Now, the thing is, he fights for Skeletor. Have not seen anything about Skeletor yet. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? It's like, come on. It's like, like I said, this thing had potential. It had potential. There are certain aspects of this comic book that I'm really enjoying. So it's just that's how much at the end of my rope I was at. There are some aspects of this that I'm really enjoying, just breezing through it. And I think back in the day, I was just so over it. I'm not even sure I finished reading these 3. I was just burnt out. And it's a real shame. It really is. So let's see here. So yeah, he faces off against. Oh no, he's not facing off. It's Oh no, that's not Beastman. That's. Wait a minute. I mean, it looks like Beastman. Or did Hordak have a Beastman analog? Because he's being referred to as Lord Grizzlor. So I'm not sure about this guy. I thought that was Beastman, but it might actually be a Beastman analog from the She-Ra universe. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. Might have to look that up. Yeah, really? Yeah. That's yeah. In hindsight, it's like back in the day. It's like it might click on like a subconscious level, but then it doesn't. You don't really fully realize what's going on, and then in hindsight, 10, 20 years later, you realize, wow, that how did I not see that before? It's do you know anything about She-Ra? His name is Lord Grizzlor. So, I mean, if it was a She-Ra character, Beastman clone would be a very good description for him, which is not surprising. That's kind of how they rolled. But yeah, I really thought that was Beastman there. I don't know if Grizzlor is an actual thing from She-Ra or not. That's so yeah, they're just full on in the middle of war right here, which is like something you did not see in the comic books. There was never like a full blown war. There was always the conflicts and stuff like that, little battles and skirmishes. Never full blown war. So they pulled out all the stops for this. Okay, no, it's all good. I don't know either, so it's like I was just curious. I'm gonna have to look it up at some point, but yeah, it's maybe he was a character in the original She-Ra, possibly. But there have been a couple of characters that I don't recognize, so who knows? Maybe they did clone Beastman for this comic book series. Anything's possible at this point. It's who knows? Jiminy Cricket. Okay, so okay, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, because at the end of the last issue, they were all together. So there's something going on. They're in the middle of this battle. Boom, 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 boom. And then he makes a wish. What? So, okay, so the Hordak is, forces are bringing in reinforcements. The king's fighting, trying to encourage his men. And then, boom. Something, I don't know if they're teleporting or what is going on, but then boom, in comes He-Man and Teela with some other characters there to help with the battle. Propaganda is a very good term for it. It really is. That's exactly what it is, to be honest. All of these changes that they made and stuff like that, the nonsense, making She-Ra look like a boy, it's all propaganda for an agenda. It really is. It's an insidious one, to say the least. Yeah, so He-Man and Teela and some others, they come in and join the fight. I don't know what happened, because in the last issue, they were all together. So at this point, it doesn't explain what's going on exactly. Why the king was fighting by himself and why He-Man and the others jump in at the last minute. Yeah, it's just, a lot of fighting going on, a little bit of dialogue. Okay, so forces break off. The Horde breaks off from the fight, and here's why. Apparently, Hordak has some sort of a space station, battle station, orbiting the planet, and then boom, he lets loose like a Death Star type blast into the middle of the battle, which is why his forces like peeled off and everything. And let's see here. Oh, wait a minute, Zodiac? Was that Zodiac Man? The Birdman his name was Stratos. Okay, yeah, I remember that sounds familiar. But then I think there was a character named Zodiac Man. I think that's him right there. I don't remember exactly what his thing was. But the name Zodiac Man is like sticking in my head for some reason. I think that his name was Zodiac Man. It's just so cool to see these characters. Like I watched He-Man growing up, and it was such a fun show. It's so cool to see all these characters brought back to life. Because there was by the end of the series, I mean, they had so many characters. Just fun, silly, cool characters. It's okay. So the battle's over. Apparently, that was like a decisive shot from Hordak. And okay, so they're having some conversation. This is a post-battle conversation that they're having. The king finally admits that Eternia is lost. And then, let's see here. Boom. Okay. So something has happened to the sorceress. Because in this, oh yeah, so we got an ad for Harley Quinn here. Honestly, that is not a bad looking Harley Quinn. That Joker leaves something to be desired. I don't know what is up with that Joker. But that Harley Quinn's not bad looking, let me tell you. Okay, so let's get back to this year. And then, yeah, I get distracted easy. I developed some sort of mild ADHD as an adult after the military. Listen, I'm not going to get into that. But it's like, yeah, so he's talking about bringing back the sorceress. So apparently something happened to the sorceress, and she's dead. And they're talking about, like, I don't know, resurrecting her somehow. Adam is like, what? Which is an appropriate response, in my opinion. What? So, I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of cool to see all of these characters fighting together and, just like really, no holds barred, pulling out the stops. In that regard, it is kind of cool. It is pretty cool. But you can see the influence of the mindset that has led to the modern day, woke agenda and everything, modern day state of comic books and pop culture in general. It's there. You can definitely see it. Let's go ahead and bag and board this one. Get to issue 8. I'm curious. I want to see what is going on, because apparently this was a part 1. So let's bag and board this. Let's take a look at the next issue here before I finish that thought here. yeah. Your response to you, right? It's like, wait, what? It's like, what? Yeah, because I mean, if she's dead, how are you supposed to bring her back? It's comic books. Nobody really stays dead in comic books, it seems like. So, but in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, that particular universe, that is a bit outside the norm. Let's put it that way. But I love his response. This is perfect. Even for He-Man. Oh, Jimmy Cricket. Okay. So it's bagged and boarded and ready for storage. Now let's go ahead and move on to issue number 8 of He-Man and Masters of the Universe. My final act of desperation to remain in the modern comic book community. What lies within part 2? So this is a continuation of the previous issue here. So we know that Eternia is lost. The king has decided to resurrect the sorceress, who I wasn't aware is dead. Now, this is one thing I like about it. So this is about He-Man. Now, his father's in there fighting and everything. He-Man is front and center. That is one thing I did like about this. He-Man is front and center in all 3 issues. That's how it should be. So at least at this point, they were still doing it right. They were actually focused on the main character instead of putting like the king up front or putting like Tila up front. Or now in the issue number 6 is He-Man versus Adora, but she wasn't like front and center. They kind of had like equal spotlight there. So at least she wasn't like front and center. But in this issue and the previous one, He-Man's right there in the middle of it. Boom. Because that's what he's the title character. That's what this is all about. He-Man, Masters of the Universe. I know it's been an adventure to go back and watch Pink Floyd's The Wall. Some music. It looks New Eyes Man. New Eyes for sure. Yes. Yeah, it's amazing what a few years will do. Let alone a decade or two. It's pretty amazing. Some of the stuff I used to enjoy, I'm looking at it now and I'm like, I'm cringing. So yeah, it sounds like you know exactly. Yeah, no, you make a very good point there. You make a very good point. It's pretty incredible what the passage of time will do. But then, there's this other stuff. I mean, I still enjoy it very much because it's good stuff. I've got this retro series that I do on my main channel, Rebel Squadron, with retro video games. I'm loving it. Yeah, the games weren't perfect back then, but they were so much more fun. They were so much better created. But then, you can see the flaws a little bit more and stuff like that. I guess we now have enough data to go back, detect, identify. I think I see what you did there. I think that's got something to do with wisdom comes with age or something like that. So yeah, you're able to look at it from a different perspective just because you've gained that wisdom and perspective over time. So I like the way you put it though. That's like, okay, so yeah, they went pretty dark with this. Let me read the opening little thing here. On a bitter journey into this hopeless night, on a desperate quest in the darkest hour, so cried King Arandor, "Have a care, take arms, take arms." Yeah, they went pretty dark with this actually. So that's one of the things. It's more of a kind of a minor nitpick at this point. They went pretty dark with it, and they might have gone a little too dark with it. But considering the other issues, I'm not going to complain about it too much, at least not at this point. So, because that's one of the things about He-Man. He was always positive and optimistic, and the fact that that's one of the things that they've been doing. They've been taking all the positivity and the optimism of these characters in these universes, and they've just been sucking it right out until everything is just dark and gloomy and hopeless. So it's like, it's just like, that's been one of the key issues with what they've been doing to our pop culture. So I don't know. I'm kind of holding off on judgment on that because I do see what they're kind of trying to do with it. I didn't buy anything else after this though, so I don't know how it all ended. It's just, as far as He-Man goes, it might be just a little bit too dark. Even for, trying to make it maybe a little more adult accessible. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not, there are some cool aspects to it, so I don't want to take away from that. Okay, that's a little weird. This is, okay. Did not see this comment. Was not expecting that. Yeah, I'm not sure. So you open up the page here, and then you get this. Boom. It's an ad for Arrow. It's just a dude with his shirt off. Like, what is that? I'm sorry. That's not comic book. That's not comic book. What is this? What is this? I mean, as a guy, I don't. That doesn't get my attention. I'm not that type of guy, if you know what I'm saying. That's just, what is this? This is a Whiskey Tango Foxtrot ad for me. This is for women and other different types of men, if you know what I'm saying. This is not for this right here. This ad, it's not for comic book fans. What is this? Jiminy Cricket, dude. I just can't even with this. That too. My game experience peak is at Hey, Atari made some good games. Oh no argument there. Sex does sell. But this does not attract me. This does not make me want to spend money. This does not make me want to spend my time watching it. This is for women that are into those romance novels. Let's just leave it at that. This one, and it's Arrow. It's Green Arrow. That's not what Green Arrow is. They've completely. Cricket, man. It's a really good example of how they just butchered pop culture in general. It's just like, dude. You got to remember, this is the House of G, the original geek, the original gamer. Before gaming and being a geek was cool, before it was mainstream, when me and my friends, we played it for the joy of playing the games. We read the comic books for the joy of reading the comic books because we enjoyed the characters, the story arcs, the fantastic stuff. They have taken all of this and they've normalized it. They've just oh man, they've neutered it for the common person to try to bring in the quote unquote normies. I don't like using that term, but in retrospect, it fits because people. This is a great example of it. This is not for comic book fans. This is not for comic book fans. This is for normies. This is for the housewives that read those trashy romance novels. That's what this is for. That is not for comic book fans. I mean, if women want to read those, okay, fine, more power to you. But that's not what comic books are about. That's not what these characters are about. And they've completely just twisted everything to, focus on the sex. It's just like, I'm not saying that, superhero type characters are not like physically fit. They're supposed to be like the peak human condition. But it's not supposed to be blatant in your face, reading it just for. I'm trying to keep the language as relatively PG-13. It's really difficult when you're talking about stuff like that. It's they've completely. It's not that type of medium. At least these characters are not from that type of medium. Moss Man. Oh, because that's the name of the dude. Okay, so issue 7 had the dude in the background. I didn't know who he is. Oh, wait a minute. I do remember him. Okay. Yeah, his name is Mossman. Yeah, I remember him now. Now I do remember him because I had the character, the action figure, and it was like green velvet. So to make it feel like he was moss, made out of moss or something. I remember that now. Okay, so he is one of the original characters. But here's the thing. They kind of make him look like the Swamp Thing right there. I'm not sure what I think. So it's got that Swamp Thing vibe to him. I don't know. I don't remember that much about the character, so I can't really say if they like supercharged his abilities or not, and basically just ripped off Swamp Thing, or if this is actually accurate to the original character. Have you heard the theory of a certain country trying to feminize the males? Oh, it's not just a country; it's worldwide. It's a global effort. Brazil is overrun with feminism. I mean, it's overrun. Like, I've seen some videos of stuff going on down there, like full on feminist quote unquote protests where they're just assaulting. They were assaulting churches at one point. And some of the men actually stood up and they were like surrounding the churches, like arm in arm. And the women were like, I mean, from the waist up, they were straight up naked and they were assaulting the men, like literally like slapping them with their hoo-has and stuff like that. And it's not just Brazil. I mean, this is going on across the world. Did McDonald's ever have these dudes in the Happy Meals, I wonder? I don't know what stuff. McDonald's? No, McDonald's was about just entertaining kids and giving families a place. Well, the original McDonald's was just a burger joint, and then they developed the characters, Ronald McDonald and Grimace and stuff like that, and they were just fun characters. There's nothing sexual about them. No, they weren't sexualized at all. They were just about entertaining the family and giving the parents a place to take their kids and just have fun together. What's up, holy shiz? What was that? What was that, holy shiz? It's sounds like you might have had a epiphany there or something. Okay, so they basically turned Moss Man into Swamp Thing by the looks of it. So I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. I don't remember him being like that overpowered. Though, to be honest, to be fair, I don't remember much about him at all, other than the fact that I did have the action figure. Okay, so yeah, they're on the quest to try and bring back the sorceress. And obviously Hordak is, you know, whatever they're trying to do, he's trying to stop them. Okay, so they're outside of Mount Zor. The name is familiar, Mount Zor. Correct me, no, I'm not. It doesn't look like what I'm thinking of, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is Mount Zor the name of Skeletor's hideout? Wasn't that Skeletor's hideout? I mean, it doesn't quite look like it. The entrance has got a kind of a beak looking thing to it. Hold on, let's take a look. Zor is the star seed. She is the first light. She's existed for. Okay, so apparently, according to this, the sorceress is actually like a semi-immortal being that's been around Eternia since the dawn of Eternia or something like that. And so Mount Zor is like the location of the source of this entity's power or something like that. So I guess that's how they're planning on bringing the sorceress back. But I don't know. Oh, the Brazil story. Okay, that's news. I was just wondering if the toys and no, there's a video. The what I'm talking about. The reason I know about it is because I saw a video of it. I think it was like on YouTube or something. And I mean, it was crazy. Like I was watching it. It was absolutely nuts. Like they were looking to burn down these churches, and the only reason they didn't succeed is because these men came out of. They came out in force, and protected the churches. I mean, it was absolutely bonkers. So it's not just one country. This thing's going on around the world. And in some countries, it's actually worse. Oh, the toys and from what I understand about the toys and the Happy Meals at McDonald's, they didn't so much go dark as that they just went stupid. Like back in the day, McDonald's toys used to be really cool, really fun. And now they're boring. Like even as an adult, they're just boring. Well, okay, so you're saying you remember something about a short period. I don't know, because maybe it's possible, because I don't buy Happy Meals anymore, so I don't really pay attention. So I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I missed out on. You might be right. It might have gone pretty dark. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised, because they are attacking our children. They're the same people that are doing this stuff. They're attacking our children. They're taking the actual children properties, child IPs, and they're putting some really insidious stuff in there. If you know, I did a video on it. The Trolls doll. There's a button in the crotch area, so when the kid's playing with it and sits the doll down to where it's like, just sitting on its butt, it will activate this button, and it makes some really disturbing noises. Really, really disturbing noises. And this is a mainstream child's toy. It's not advertised on the box. It's very minimized. They slipped it past the parents to get it into the child's hands. It would not surprise me if there were some McDonald's toys at some point that were on the dark side, on the creepy side. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. It's, like I said, I did a video on it if you're interested. It's the Trolls doll. And a lot of other people did too, so if you wanted to research it, there's more than enough information out there. The first video that I'm aware of that was done on it was an actual mother. Her and her husband bought the toy for their daughter. But they had the presence of mind to inspect the toy before they gave it to the daughter, and they stumbled across the button. And so instead of giving it to their daughter, she made a video on it. And then my channel and a lot of other channels, we did our own commentary on it. And it's just like, it's just straight up insidious. It sounded like just making fairly seductive. I mean, they try to make it kind of playful, but you can tell with the button position and the sounds is very seductive. Yeah, so it's you're not imagining things. Let's put it that way. You're not imagining things. There's some really insidious stuff going on out there. It really is. And that's why I make some of the videos that I do, because it's pop culture matters. It really does. People, there are people out there that think it's silly, that it's childish maybe, but the simple fact is that pop culture matters, and people have got to pay attention to it. They really do, because a lot of people are into it, and it has an influence. Oh, where are we? So they're in Mount Zor, which apparently is the source of power for, I guess, not only the sorceress, but Grayskull, apparently. So Hordak took over Grayskull, but he did not take over Zor. So that's news to me on that front. He-Man does his thing. I have the power of Grayskull and Zor now. Wait a minute. I have the power of Grayskull, and that power was given to me by Zor. Okay, so there's a connection at least between the two. He's like, I have the power, but instead of just Grayskull, Zor is now part of the equation. Honestly, I would not be surprised if it did. I really wouldn't. Because the same people, if it's not the same people, they run in the same circles. So, I would not be surprised. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. Okay, so he uses the power of Grayskull and Zor to open up this gate inside of Mount Zor. And apparently, inside the gate, monsters everywhere. They're fighting off these monsters all of a sudden. So, to be continued. I'm guessing there's a part 3, which I did not purchase because at this point I was just, I think at this point I was just too aware of the weird stuff that they were doing with it. And I think maybe when I was reading the first issue, like the stuff with like the Adora and stuff like that, the stuff they did to her, I think it turned me off so bad that I didn't continue with this. And in spite of what they did to Adora, I mean, there's some interesting stuff to it. So that's a real shame. There were some interesting aspects of the series. I am actually a little bit curious as to where they went with it. But at this point, I had already reached the end of my rope, and it wasn't enough to keep me in modern comic books. So this was it. This was the last gasp for me. The end of the end, as far as modern comic books go for me, here at the House of G. This was it. Earth 2 was the last straw, and this was just the final desperate act on my part to find a reason to remain in the community of modern comic books. And it's heartbreaking. It really is. It's just really sad. It's like Jiminy Cricket, man. Yeah, this is a very sobering moment, like right now. Jiminy Cricket, man. This has been a journey, let me tell you, doing this House of G. This has been a journey. A very unexpected one. Like I'm feeling a heavy sense of nostalgia right now, and just sadness, I guess you could say. Heartbreak. It's like I'm not like necessarily an overly emotional man. Which is, I'm a man. It's just the way we are. This is a very sobering moment for me, let me tell you. The entire House of G series has pretty much been leading up to this moment, especially between the last House of G and this one. This is wow. Yeah, this is the last mainstream comic book I ever purchased. I have no intention of buying any more mainstream comic books. So I was partially right. I thought the last comic book I bought was in 2012. I was partially right. I completely forgot I even bought these. I completely forgot about these. So yeah, I bought those Earth 2 in 2012. That was the last straw. Boom. I was done. Last act of Desperation, 2013. Final comic book I ever actually purchased. Very sobering. Very, very sobering. Wow. It's a shame because this had potential. This had potential. Yeah, that's true. Well, that's the thing is they take advantage of our nostalgia. That's what they're doing. That's what they've been doing. They know that we're gonna buy into the nostalgia, so they take that nostalgia and they make stuff like this. Now, this isn't the worst I've seen. There were some cool aspects about this, but it's still there. Especially issue 6 with Adora. Gotcha. It's all good. It's all good. No, I've been on the internet a long time, so yeah, it's all good. Typos, they happen to the best of us. Jimmy Cricket, man, I'm just it's pretty insidious because they purposely take advantage of your nostalgia to slip in this insidious stuff, and it's gotten to the point where they don't even hide it anymore. So I recognized it early on, and I checked out pretty early. It's taken a lot of people a lot longer. I'm not the only one that recognized it back then, but it's as far as the overall community goes, it has taken longer because nostalgia, that's how powerful nostalgia is. And they have taken full advantage of it. Man, it's just, I mean, a year ago, I would be, once I reached this point in the series, I would be just absolutely infuriated. But I've kind of come to terms with what they've done. I'm not saying I'm bending the knee at all, but I've come to terms with what they've done, and it is what it is at this point. And it just makes me sad. It really does. Like I can't get any angrier than I've already am. So at this point, I'm just not even angry at this point. I'm just sad. They do suck. They suck very much. I don't think you could put it as more succinctly as that. They suck. That's a very good choice of words on your part, Remy. It's like, this is incredible. I'm actually kind of reluctant to wrap this up because it's just like, Jiminy Cricket. It's an end of an era for me personally. I did not see that coming. Really did not see it coming. Jiminy Cricket. All right, let's do this. Yeah, it's just, there comes a time though when you just gotta let it go, Wow. This is Jiminy Cricket. This is turning out to be more profound than I ever expected. This is crazy. Yeah, when I started my original channel, Rebel Squadron, as the primary focus was always supposed to be about entertainment through gaming. Over 10 months ago, I never saw this coming. This moment right here, I did not see it coming. Even when I started this channel, I didn't see this moment coming. This is Jiminy Cricket. This just blindsided me. They're probably poor next. Oh, you don't understand how true that statement is. Look at The Boys. You know the what was it? Was it Amazon Prime? They've got the series The Boys. It's based off a comic book. I found a place. I would have to look it up again. I found a website that has The Boys archived. You can read it for free. The pornographic aspect of I guess you would say TV series, the Amazon series, The Boys. I thought they shoehorned the pornographic aspect I thought they forced it in there. But I read the first 3 issues of the comic book version of The Boys. It's part of the comic book. It's straight up pornography. And it's like it doesn't add anything to the story. And yet people rave about it. It's very shocking. It's very shocking. Because The Boys is a pornographic comic book. And people love it. And I don't understand why. Because that's not what comic books are. Yeah, you've got the sex appeal. You got the... Let me find... I mean, for me as a guy, as a heterosexual male, I mean, that's just, I want to work out and get in shape and stuff like that. This inspires me to work out and get into shape. It's not sexual for me. Now, for the ladies that might be reading this, they might be feeling differently about that. It's like, well, for me, as a heterosexual male, like if you cut off the head, that's pretty nice right there for me. Now, but however, here's the thing. I don't need it to go any further than that, because I'm not looking for pornography. I'm looking for athletic, fantasy, perfect specimens of human beings, stuff like that. Yeah, I know you're probably trying to be sarcastic with it, but that's literally what they've done. They've taken this stuff and they have turned some of it into straight up pornography. And it's not just comic books. Look at video games, Cyberpunk 2077. That's some of the most obscene pornography I've ever witnessed in mainstream entertainment. But then The Boys is just a great example as far as comic book goes. The comic book of The Boys is just, it's pornographic. I guess the masks do help with that. But here's the thing. It's not about the characters wearing the mask. It's about the people that created it. They're not wearing masks. They're just putting their names on it. There is no masks are not going to help them. Because I don't blame the characters for what they're doing. I blame the people that created the characters and wrote the story. So yeah, there's going to be sex appeal. You cut off the head, and I mean, that's a nice looking woman. Yeah, He-Man, he's a male specimen there. Top of his game there, athletic, muscular. I'm not attracted to that. It's just, as far as a man, just pure masculinity goes, it inspires me to work out and get in shape, which, I'm working on that. But then, for me as a heterosexual male, I like that, Rebel likes that. Let's put it that way. I try to keep this PG-13 as much as possible. Rebel likes that. Now, when you take the whole thing, then not so much. That right there is just, it kills it for me. It straight up kills it for me. I don't like that. That's not a woman. They're putting a man's head on a woman's body is what they're doing. And it's all brainwashing. Yeah, epitomes. That's a good word for it. That is a good word. The epitome of human, just physical prowess and athleticism. It gives you something to aspire for, You got to have a goal. You got to have a target. Even if you know that ultimately it's outside your reach, it gives you something to aim for so you can become the best that you can be. You're not necessarily trying to become these characters. This inspires you to become the best possible you that you can be. And I think that's one of the things these people don't understand. But then they take it and they twist it into something completely different. It's just, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's the thing about these streams. I start them off. Like I pick the issues that are going to be kind of like the anchor point of the stream. But even then, I don't know where the stream's going to go. Like when I get into it and I get into the issue and I start analyzing it and talking about it and discussing it, stuff pops up. I didn't see it coming. These streams never go the way I think they're. Exactly. Aim for the stars. That's what comic books are all about. That's what, pop culture, entertainment. That's what it's all about. It's not about pushing agendas, ideologies, perversions, obscenities. It's about aiming for the stars. And they've completely just butchered all of it across the board for some really sick and twisted ideologies. Jiminy Cricket, man. Oh my goodness. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, this has been a very sobering House of G. Very, very sobering. My goodness. I'm a little surprised at how sobering it has been. Wow. And yeah, so that's gonna do it for this particular House of G. And it's wow. It's gonna end on a very sobering note. There's gonna be more. I still got some comic books I need a bagging board and everything. But this is just this was the final last act of desperation of my personal collection, my personal experience with modern comic books. Materials have become adulterated, but I like big butts now. I like your sense of humor, Remy. I do. It's like, oh, good dog. Thanks for the laugh. I appreciate it. So, oh man. Oh yeah. So yeah, if you get the chance, check your Facebook, see if you can find my message to you. Yeah, I did find you. I did start a Rebel Squadron account profile over on Facebook. So yeah, if you get the chance, if you find it, hit me up. It's been fun talking. I appreciate you hanging out in the stream. It definitely makes the stream more fun for me. So hopefully it makes it more enjoyable for you as well. It's like, wait a minute. Oh, no. No. Uh-oh, I might have made a mistake here. No. Okay, we might be right. You know what? Okay. Oh my gosh, I just about had a heart attack right there. I am actually, okay, so I don't know how this happened because I know I did not. Okay, so I'm streaming on Rebel Rant, but somehow I am logged into my Rebel Squadron chat on the Rebel Rant stream. I'm very confused about that right now. I just noticed it. But fortunately, we are streaming on the Rebel Rant channel, so I'm not streaming on the wrong channel. That's the important thing. Dude. Oh my goodness. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. That would have been something. Oh, good times. Good times, Remy. Good times. Thank you. Who doggy. Okay. So, yeah, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for this House of G. So I got plenty of comic books. I do need a bag and board. So plenty of this particular House of G series to go. Once I get them all bagged and boarded, I'm going to start going through my entire collection, get them reorganized. I have at least one box that I really need to replace because it looks really bad. Oh no, you don't understand. My Rebel Squadron channel is the focus is just the entertainment through gaming. So I'm trying to keep that as lighthearted as possible. So I actually started Rebel Rant on Rebel Squadron, and the people that were subscribed over there didn't respond to it. A lot of them didn't respond to it very well because it's such a departure from what I was doing. That's why I actually created Rebel Rant, and yeah, so that kind of would have been a disaster, a little bit of a disaster. It's like, dude. Now I would have been able to download it and then re-upload the stream over here in Rebel Rant. It wouldn't be the same. Well, yes. Actually, the fact that you're here tells me that I am streaming on Rebel Rant because you're probably not subscribed to me over on Rebel Squadron. So sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's all good though. Everything's good. Everything's good. Everything's good. It's all good. Jiminy Cricket. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, I think it's time to wrap things up here. Like I said, I get distracted fairly easy. I developed some sort of adult ADHD. When I was younger, I mean, I had attention focused like a laser beam. And now I do suffer from the shiny syndrome. Oh, Jimmy, I'm glad you're amused. I am sincerely glad you're amused. It's like, okay, Remy. If anybody else is watching, yeah. Well, okay. I'm gonna wrap it up here. So yeah, hit me up, Remy, if you get the chance. It's been great talking to you. I appreciate hanging out. Yeah, we'll be back next Monday here with another House of G. Before I go, I am making a change to this channel. I've decided to rebrand it a little bit. I'm going to change the name of the channel from Rebel Rant to House of G. Rebel Rant is still going to be part of the channel. What is that? There's something going on. It's still going to be this channel. What is going on? I think I got a hair in my mouth. There it is. Damn, that was driving me nuts. Anyways, so it's still going to be this channel. It's going to be the same channel. I'm not going to do it right away. I'm going to transition it slowly so that people don't get too confused. It's still going to be this specific channel, but I'm going to transition the name from Rebel Rant to House of G, and I will still have my Rebel Rants on this channel. but I'm gonna be basically I'm gonna be shifting the focus a little bit, and just just a slight rebranding. So same channel, same commentary, same focus. It's just gonna have the name. It's basically gonna be the name that's changing. So I just don't want anybody to get confused. So Remy, yeah, if at some point when you see the name change from Rebel Rant to House of G, it's still the same channel. It's still gonna be the same everything. It's just gonna be a slightly different brand. So yeah, just give me a heads up. It's not gonna happen immediately. It's gonna take a little time to make that transition, because I'm gonna try and make sure to advertise it on the channel as I make videos and stuff like that. It might take a month or two, but so when it happens, just don't be surprised, and don't worry, it's gonna be the same stuff. So boom shakalaka. Yes, I just want to put that out there real quick. So, oh my goodness. All right, so this has been quite the House of G here, man. Okay. Yeah, I'm part of me is kind of reluctant to wrap it up, because it's like the end of an era for me. Like that's it. I mean, as far as my collection goes, that's it. Jiminy Cricket. There's not going to be any new, unless there's a massive, if and when there's a massive change in mainstream comic books. I mean, this is going to be it. This is it. It's all going to be about back issues at this point. And wow, it just kind of became real right there, you know. So okay, yeah, it happens when it happens. I just don't want anybody to be surprised by it. So, like, wait a minute, where'd Rebel Rant go? Who's this House of G? Where'd this House of G come from? Like, what? How did I get subscribed to House of G? It's Rebel Rant. It's still the same me. It's like, I just don't want anybody to be surprised. So, boom shakalaka. All right. Remy, I appreciate you hanging out. I really do. You crack me up. You do. It's like, yeah, I wish you the best of luck with your endeavors. I know you got a lot of stuff that you're working on, so I do. I wish you the best of luck there. Good luck to you. I hope stuff works out. Yeah, it's all good things come to an end. That is wow. Yeah, that is very much true, isn't it? Jiminy Cricket. Okay, yeah, I think it's time to let that arrow go. All right, let's do this. All right, I will see you on the flip side there. And very true. Yeah, it's it can be a little bit scary pulling back the curtain sometimes, but you know what? It has to be done. Yep, I appreciate it, Remy. I appreciate it. All right, well, let's go and wrap this up. This has been the House of G, the home of the original geek and the original gamer. I hope you have yourself a fantastic Monday, a fantastic start to your week. And yeah, we will keep this party rolling here. So, hoo doggy, you have yourself a great one there. Boom, yummy. All right, Gearbox. Oh wait, yep, there we go. Yeah, Gearbox. All right, it's time to bring it into this era here. Let's go ahead and roll the titles there, the ending credits. Boom, chocolate.